Portions of TV23's internet provided by SWKO Wireless Internet. Covering the High Plains with news, weather, and information. From TV23 Studios in Sublette, this is High Plains Today.
Hi, everybody. You know what? It is Monday, November 7th, 2016. Welcome to the Real High Plains Today on TV23. On today's show, I'm going to be joined by Representative Shannon Francis. He represents the 125th District in the House in Topeka. We're going to talk about stuff that's happening tomorrow. In the meantime, let's take a look at what's happening now. Well, a Moscow man is in the hospital after rolling a semi-trailer Sunday morning. Now, the incident occurred at about 6:15 yesterday, about 3 miles east of Johnson. Now, the Kansas Highway Patrol reports 57-year-old Vernon Smith of Moscow was headed west on U.S. Highway 160, and for unknown reasons, the passenger side trailer tires entered the north ditch, causing the trailer to roll on its side. Now, Smith was taken to the Stanton County Hospital. And the Garden City Police Department is trying to identify the person pictured here. Now, he is a person of interest in a theft investigation that occurred at a local retail establishment. Now, the Garden City Police Department is requesting assistance from the community. Now, if you have any information related to this person, you should call the Garden City Police Department or Crime Stoppers. Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies conducted a traffic stop on U.S. Highway 50 and mile marker 23 on a moving violation Saturday night. Based on narcotics interdiction training, the deputies immediately began to suspect the vehicle was transporting illegal narcotics. Receiving consent to search the vehicle from the driver, the search resulted in the seizure of 2 pounds of marijuana, along with an undisclosed quantity of hash and marijuana brownies. Arrested were 21-year-old Joseph Dudzica of Springfield, Missouri, and 29-year-old Scott Steelman of Rogersville, Missouri. Well, for the past 18 months, structural stabilization has been in progress inside the Windsor Hotel in downtown Garden City. Now, the stabilization is currently 85% complete. The Preservation Alliance has raised over $700,000 without any additional cost to local taxpayers. The beginning of the exterior renovations will begin with the painting of the north wall and a new artistic Windsor Hotel sign. The renovation of the cupola will immediately begin after the completion of the north wall. Now, weather permitting, these projects are slated to be completed by December 22nd to commemorate one of the founding fathers' birthday. That would be John A. Stevens. He was the builder and original owner of the Windsor. Well, more than half of America is stressed out about the 2016 presidential election. Negative ads and mudslinging between candidates on the campaign trail can ignite reminders of someone's own bad experiences. Early voting ended at noon today across Kansas. Now, tomorrow, polls will open at 7 a.m. So far, lots of counties have reported early voting was running well ahead of past elections. With relatively few contested county and state races on the general election ballots in southwest Kansas, it's no secret what will be driving the majority of area voters to the polls tomorrow. That would be the polarizing race for President of the United States between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Now, the question of whether to retain Kansas Supreme Court Justices Beyer, Biles, Nuss, Luckert, and Stiegel also is on the ballot, as well as a proposed state constitutional amendment to preserve the right of the public to hunt, fish, and trap wildlife subject to reasonable laws and regulations. Yeah, that's going to be a mess. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, we got a giveaway coming up this Thursday. Another TV23 30-ounce Yeti tumbler. All you got to do to enter, send us an email, cup@kdgltv.com, or mail us a postcard. TV23 KDGL, P.O. Box 447, Sublette, America 67877. Put your name and address on this baby right here. Oh, also, shout out to the Sublette Booster Club and Phosphord for the Drive for Your School that happened this weekend at Sublette High School. They had over 70 people and collected well over $1,400 for the Sublette Booster Club. Good for you guys. Be back with the forecast after this.
You're watching High Plains Today on TV23 with host Chris Jewell. TV23's internet service and 4G live streaming. Provided by United Wireless. Coverage you deserve. Service you expect. United Wireless. Life's a little different here in Southwest Kansas. We do things our own way with a can-do spirit and strong family values, which means we treat people right, and we want the best value for our dollar. The same is true about United Wireless. We aren't like the national brands. We treat our customers like family. We provide excellent service and simple, easy-to-understand plans that will save you money. We are United Wireless, and we are Southwest Kansas proud.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Now, the local weather forecast for the High Plains.
Well, we're calling for lots of sunshine today. Really, we are. This stuff's supposed to burn off and be out of here. But as we look, there's not a lot of wind out here. You see the big flag out here on the west side of Sublette. It's not moving much either. Anyway, right now, temperature 59 degrees, relative humidity 97%. Winds are out of the west-southwest at 4. Barometric pressure on the rise. As we look at the current temperatures around the area, everybody in the 50s and 60s. Now, early this morning in Meade and Clark County, we had some thunderstorms that kind of broke up really quick, but they did get a nice little shower over in those areas this morning. All right, looking at the current dew points, everybody's humidity is pretty high, except you get out here to Elkhart and Lamar. There's no fog out there, so they don't have any, their humidity is not as high as we are. Looking at the current winds, the highest wind out there right now, you get out west, Lamar. 14 out of the north-northwest. Now, these winds are going to shift around because there is a cold front that is sliding down across Kansas. Let's take a look at our highs and lows as recorded at the Garden City Regional Airport. Did get to 59 yesterday, 85 back in 1980. 52 was the overnight low. Yeah, 12 back in 1993. We did have 7 100ths over the weekend of precipitation at the airport. All right, yep, see, I told you, it's going to be sunny today. Highs are going to be about 65. It's going to have to hustle, but this stuff should burn off. Winds are going to be out of the west at 11, switching around as that front rolls in to the north. Tonight, going to cool down, 37 degrees. Winds are still going to be out of the north at 13, and then tomorrow, not quite as warm, 61. Winds, yep, northerly, 14. Now, tomorrow night, our low is going to be 31, mostly clear. Look at the winds. They're going to be north-northeast of 7, dropping down to virtually nothing. So that means right here, we could have some patchy frost around. So if you got any of those plants you want to save, you might want to think about covering them or getting them in. As we look at the 7-day, all right, now we're getting into some November-type temperatures. Looking at those highs in the 60s, yeah, 69 on Thursday as a high. Other than that, lows in the 30s. Yep, November is here. That's a look at the weather. Be back with the markets and Shannon after this.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yeah. Yes?
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hi, Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs weekdays at noon right here on TV 23. We talk about news, we talk about sports, we talk about weather, we're even going to talk entertainment. We'll have live guests right here on set with me. So, every day at noon, tune in, High Plains Today. We'll see you then.
Weekdays here on TV 23.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Yep, it's still foggy outside. Welcome back. I'm now joined by one of my good favorite buddies. Shannon Francis. He is a representative for the 125th District in the Kansas House of Representatives. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm ready for the elections to be done.
No kidding. We're not even going to, all right, we aren't even going to talk about the presidential one because I talked about that in the news, and that's a big enough mess the way it is. I'm just ready for it to be over.
Yep, I think a lot of people are.
And we don't have to see any more ads.
No more ads.
About this guy and that guy. All right, so let's talk a little about the state races coming up.
Okay.
All right, so now Governor Brownback we're looking at, the biggest thing for him is, people think he's got a big power throw going here to try and get the 5 Supreme Court justices, not retained, so that he has kind of an easy way to appoint new nominees. Is that how that works, or how does that work?
Well, there's kind of mixed signals that come out of the governor's office on that. Publicly, the governor has stated on more than one occasion that he doesn't have a horse in this race. I did see some news articles last week that said that his political action campaign committee gave large numbers of dollars to Kansans for Life, and then they passed it on to the judicial retention race. So there's some question about how active he actually is in the retention races.
Okay, so let me help me get this right, because we were talking about this earlier. But now, if any of these justices are not retained,
yes,
then he has basically, there's a nominating committee of 9.
That's correct.
And he pretty well has 5 of those that will pretty much do what he wants them to do.
That's right.
As far as a nominee,
there's a lot of thoughts. You'll see a lot of messaging regarding judicial retention that revolves around the Carr brother case in Wichita. It's really just messaging. The Carr brothers, what the situation was, they were both found guilty and sentenced to the death penalty together. The Supreme Court said that those rulings should have happened with each one of them being judged separately for the death penalty. So when it went to the Supreme Court basically said, come back, have another trial, do it separately, and you can do whatever is the ruling in that case. The Carr brothers are in prison. They're never going to leave prison. Fact of the matter is, Kansas has not executed anybody on death row since 1965.
I was going to say, it's been a long time, 40,
Right.
50 years, isn't it?
They probably weren't going to be sentenced to death anyway. The other messaging that happens is as a pro-life issue. Honestly, the biggest thing holding back more pro-life legislation at the state level right now is Supreme Court rulings on the federal level. Roe versus Wade. We've really went about as far as we can on pro-life. So it really comes down to, I think, the school finance. And
I was going to say, that's when all this started. It was when the governor kind of got upset, was when the Supreme Court ruled pretty much against the things that he wanted to do with education finance, right?
That's right. That's right. And we really need to understand that there's a lot of angst in some of the more urban areas on school finance. They feel like we spend too much money educating a lot of kids in rural Kansas. And I think it's just real important that we maintain an independent judiciary. We have 3 stools, 3 legs to our government: the judicial, legislative, and the executive branch for a reason, and we need to maintain that judicial independence.
Well, yeah, because that would give him a foothold in all 3 if things don't really shift tomorrow in the House and Senate races, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I think there are going to be some gains made in the House and Senate, don't you?
I think the Democrats will pick up a few seats in the House and the Senate, but there was a major change in the primaries. A lot of people were elected based upon education, based upon they didn't like the direction that Kansas was going.
So, and you're running unopposed, so
Yes.
yeah, that was an easy deal. But when you get back up there in January, now, what is going to be? Is the tax bill and the budget, is that going to be a big one? What are we going to do with taxes? And what are we going to do with state revenues?
I think we're all naive to say exactly what we're going to be able to accomplish. The fact of the matter is we've got however you want to figure it, we've got somewhere from a $400 million to a $700 million structural deficit. There's going to be a ruling by the Supreme Court as far as adequacy on funding. We don't know what tack they're going to take on that. I did see some of the testimony when they had their hearing on that, and I do think the courts are going to give the legislature some leeway on how they address adequacy in school funding. You know, one of their big conversations was we're not too concerned about the 70% of Kansas students that are performing as they should, but we want to make sure that there's sufficient resources for the 30% that aren't performing at the level that they need to be. So anyway, to go back to that, I really don't know what we're going to be able to accomplish. You know, the governor does still have veto power. It's going to have to be a negotiated settlement, you know, so to speak.
Is this an irreconcilable differences type of thing, or what?
Sooner or later, we've got to do something.
I mean, I get this from you all the time. I mean, all we've done, every time I think of the budget and I see the shortfall, I go, Shannon, kicking the can down the road. That's all we've been doing for the last several years.
That's right. And Kansans want good roads. They want their kids to have good educations, and they want to be able to take care of those in our society that need help when they need help. And, you know, currently with the funding that we have right now, we can't do that. You know, to give you an example, I believe we spend $3 billion on education, roughly. That $3 billion, you know, our $500 to $700 million shortfall, you know, that would be a pretty severe cut to education across the state.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you understand that a lot of those expenses are fixed expenses that you can't do anything to do away with, like insurance, utilities, bond payments.
It's stuff you have to make the district work from day to day.
That's right. You know, how high do we want the teacher-student ratio to get in some of our bigger schools? There's going to be some tough decisions that have to be made. You know, we put off in the last session coming up with a new school finance formula, and that needs to be addressed this year also.
Well, because the block grants run out, correct?
That's right.
So something's got to be done.
That's right.
It's coming down. This is going to be interesting. I can't wait until January. I can't wait until you come back and go, I don't want to do this anymore.
One of the sad things that happened, and I know they meant well, but they changed the session for the legislature this year from 90 days to 100 days. The Legislative Coordinating Council did. And I think they were really trying to plan for the future. Unfortunately, they just extended the deadline another 10 days, you know. The legislature works best when we have a deadline, when we feel the pressure.
Well, maybe we should have cut it back to 80.
We should have. As a matter of fact, I had that conversation with a number of other
legislators. We should have shortened it so you could get your stuff done.
That's right.
So you start again in January.
Yes.
And there's going to be a new look because there's going to be a new speaker in the House because Representative Merrick has retired, correct?
That's right.
So any ideas?
Well, Representative Jennings.
There's two people basically in the mix, or three?
The rumor is that there's three. Representative Jennings from Lakin has announced his intention to run for Speaker. Representative Ron Reitman Jr., who is from Olathe, but he went to high school.
Yeah, grew up in Meade. Yeah, well, and his father was a representative until Ron Sr., and he retired.
Correct. And then Gene Vickery, who is the current majority leader of the House, has also announced his intentions. So, you know, we'll start to get a little bit better feel on who's the front runner on that after the elections tomorrow. You know, we know who the ones returning are on the Republican side, you know, and who the new members are, but we have to see who wins, you know, in the general election to get a feel.
It's going to be interesting.
It will be.
We'll find out tomorrow, won't we?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you get back in January after this baby gets started, make sure you come see me so we can discuss this and I can say, how you doing?
I probably won't know much in January.
All right, but we'll still talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Shannon. And stick around. I'll be back with more after this.
Never miss your favorite TV shows again. With TiVo from Pioneer Communications, you can record up to 6 shows at once and then watch them in any room of the house. It's out-of-this-world TV entertainment, and it's only from Pioneer Communications. Your community connected.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
And welcome back. Hey, congratulations to the Seward County Lady Saints volleyball team. You know what? They're celebrating the Region 6 finals. They won that yesterday in a very much of a nail-biter match over Hutchinson with a 27-25, 25-23, 23-25, 25-13 match. Now, next for them is they are 26-9 overall. They're going to advance to the NJCAA Division I National Tournament in Casper, Wyoming, coming up on November 17th through the 19th. And the Dodge City High School boys soccer team capped off a 21-0 season on Saturday by beating Olathe East 1-0 in the state championship game. Good for you guys. Very congratulations to the Dodge City Red Demons boys soccer team. All right, let's take a last look at the weather before we get out of here. 60 degrees, 95% is the relative humidity. Winds are out of the west-southwest at 2. Barometric pressure is holding steady. Now, they're telling me in Dodge City at the National Weather Service that it's going to be sunny out today. I'm just saying. All right, we're looking for a high of 65 today. Cooling off 61 tomorrow. A lot of November temperatures coming up. Go out and make it a great Monday. See you tomorrow.
Latest information from TV23 on our Facebook page, KDGL TV.
The Kansas school day is healthier than ever. School meals are designed to give you the nutrients and energy you need to learn, grow, and stay healthy. It's up to you to make healthy food choices in school and at home. Milk and dairy products, whole grains, lean protein, and lots of fruits and veggies. Now is a great time to learn about how to eat smart and play hard for life. Learn more about the healthy meals at your school and then enjoy the tasty choices. See you in the school cafeteria.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.